Wacky, wonderful Wednesday. How are we doing, guys? Not as good as I'm feeling right now. Stone Cold Stunner. Feeling great right now. I know I'm posting this a lot later than I wanted to, but I just had to rewatch the highlights of the Arizona State Texas game, which was a barn burner. Holy shit. Texas was up 24-8. I'm thinking, holy fuck, this is going to be a blowout. Please, somebody help the ratings here. God help us. And it turned out to be a double overtime thriller, classic. Both teams going at it, giving their all. Cam Scatterboo, Kenny Willingham, that whole Arizona State staff, was balling on the display. Quinn Ewers showing up, Sark quieting his critics. It was just a wonderful, masterful game. And then I wanted to touch on the game that I just watched. I went back and rewatched a little bit of the Oregon-Ohio State game up in Eugene. Didn't finish it. Obviously, we'll get to it tomorrow. I've been running around all day. And then I just watched that dismantling that Ohio State did to Oregon when Oregon beat them up in Eugene. So I wanted to start off, though, first, like I always do every week, the Raiders' reaction that I give. We did win again, but it came with a price. So I wanted to dive into that off the top. So great to have you guys in. We did win. Raiders did beat the Saints in New Orleans. Again, I don't know why they need to do it now. I'm not trying to be a get off my lawn guy. We did win. It was impressive to go on the road and beat the Saints. This team's awful. I mean, come on. If you played them early in the year and you beat them, okay, maybe you beat a shitty team. But come on, man. You put your good stuff forward down the stretch? Where the fuck has this been for the 10-game losing streak that I watched? Because it was pathetic. I mean, did they finally have some hair on their ass? Like, what's going on? So, again, and I go back to this. I keep reading these Raider fans, and listen, I'm a Raider fan, diehard, you got it. But when I hear the words, Aiden O'Connell's franchise quarterback, let's not draft one, I'm going to lose my shit. Because first of all, he's not it, okay? He shows moments, yes. But there's too many times that he's in the red zone and he takes sacks when I don't need to. The Chief game. Sunday against the Saints, God, they march down the field and we settle for field goal. Like, what are we doing? So this, to me, this is not your grandma's or grandpa's Rich Gannon Raiders where they're just scoring up like on an avalanche, silver and black avalanche, just going Rambo. And I get the personnel's not what it was when back in 2002 when they had Gannon win MVP. So I understand it from that perspective. But I also don't understand, like, are you going to run it back with Pierce? Because that's where I'm kind of confused. Now, I talked to my buddy Andrew the other day, and Mitchell Renz, who, he got me onto, and I don't know, I'm a little iffy on Mitchell Renz because I do give him a shout out. And I get the Pierce thing. Listen, I hear from both sides. I like Pierce a lot, and I would give him a shot. But, I mean, I don't know. The more that I look at it, I look at Tom Telesco, who's kind of got, to me, like this Chris Ballard, like, everybody likes him kind of vibe, but the results aren't always there. And, it's funny, like, both are pretty good GMs, Chris Ballard and Tom Telesco. And I give Tom Telesco credit. Like, he got the Chargers rough talent. Like, he drafted Herbert. He gets credit for that. Okay. But you didn't do a lot with that in L.A. So I kind of am curious what's going to happen with the Raiders. I know that he said publicly, I've heard that he doesn't love the quarterback draft, which is fine. But we were the second overall pick going into last weekend. And now we're falling. Now we're 8th because we won 2 games back-to-back. Which, again, I'm all for, but it comes with the price. So I just don't know now. Again, I've been saying this from the rooftops. You need to draft Cam Ward. I'm sorry, you have to. He fits like a Raider. Big arm, mobile, can move, edgy, Raider rough, renegade. He feels it. And I feel it. Because I throw on the games, and listen, I'm not a scout. I don't have the tape. I mean, if I had more money, God help us, I would watch him. But my point is, I've seen enough from Cam Ward. Like, he has nothing more to prove to me with the bowl game. Like, that was a part-time bowl. Who gives a shit, okay? And nobody's getting outraged. Like, look, man, I would play too. But you already saw the body of work. Like, I saw a half and I go, all right, I got what I needed out of it. The arm, the touch, the mobility. And the other thing that this grinds my gears, and I thought about this today. Can we stop with the word edgy personality? Like, here's the deal, okay? When I hear that, I have it in this category, okay? First of all, is he getting in trouble? No. Do teammates like him? Yes. Does he, can he be a little playgroundy? Yeah. Okay, got it. But the whole edgy personality thing, like, he's not doing anything stupid. He's not Jameis Winston jumping up on tables, yelling fuck right in the pussy. Like, not doing any of that shit, eating crab legs, eating a W, whatever the fuck he does. So, again, he's not a goofball. And when I watch Cam Ward, I see a lot of traits that translate. I mean, I've watched the scouts, and they say the same thing that I'm seeing. Best quarterback in this draft. It's Cam Ward, Shedeur. You can go flip-flop it either way. Now, again, I've told you I'm not sold on this quarterback class. It's okay, but it's not great. Shedeur's fine. I've got my issues with him, but Cam Ward's my guy. That's who I would try. Now, that's just me. Jalen Milroe is Jalen Hurts light to me. Too much of that. Too much running around, all that shit. Not much of a passer. Throws a nice deep ball, but outside of that, it's very hit and miss. And then Carson Beck, which is foolish to me. Foolish. Dumb that he did that. And he just come back. And I heard my buddy Nick Deaton back a while ago talking to him. I need to get on with him again. My point is, could I wait another year for Arch Manning? Now, I could see that. But it's going to be interesting with the Raiders this offseason. Max Crosby, is he coming back? I don't know. And I feel Max Crosby's pain. Like, listen, dude, he's had 5 coaches in 5 years, okay? Do I flame him for feeling that way? No. He's balling out. He's busting his ass. And we're not getting the dubs. Like, I can understand it from his perspective. So, with the Raiders, to me, I'm excited for what the offseason is. And I'm like Big Cat on Barstool. I want the season to be fucking over already. Like, get it out of my misery. Like, you lose the Chargers. Okay, I need to focus on draft now. Okay? It's been a shitty season. And my dad's like, well, you kind of knew, right? It's like, no, but I thought we'd be better because we finished the year kind of strong. Now, granted, it was against the Chiefs, and we kind of did some Raiders shit, doing some cocky crap. I didn't love that. Shoot their shit and all that. Kind of got full of themselves. Poke the bear, I'm a bitch. And I thought it was funny to Kermit the Frog. But you got to look at it from a big picture value. And, listen, I don't know what we got to do. But the first step is you got to get a quarterback. Now, I've read some reports and mocks, and I'll read it more, is we could go take Will Campbell from LSU, who hasn't had a sack yet. Okay, great. I had this thought at work today. I have a nightmare of Robert Gallery and Alexander Leatherwood coming out of the draft and being Raiders offensive linemen. Okay, so that does concern me. But it's different times, maybe different regime. Tom Telesco, I don't know if he would take that. We'll see. But, and the other thing I wanted to touch on with the Raiders, and I'll get to other games in a second, is I'm watching Brock Bowers, and he's sensational, right? I said it. You guys know my reaction after the draft. Pissing the moon about Penix because he just played so well Sunday night, and I wish we had him. But then I step back and go, well, we don't have the line for it. It's kind of shitty. They got different playmakers down in Atlanta. Zach Robinson, decent coordinator. But Brock Bowers isn't exceptional. He's a beast. He's a baller. And listen, he broke the record. I'm happy for Brock Bowers. But, however, you get that kind of record when we keep force-feeding you the ball. Okay? I mean, this is what happened with Waller. This is what happened with Renfro. I've seen this movie before. So I'm not trying to discredit anything away and get off my lawn guy with Brock Bowers. He's an exceptional player, and I'm glad he's on my team. I love him. He's great. All ball, business, shuts up. I'm sure he's a goofball and can be funny off the field. When it's on the field, he's all business, grind time, knows his grind. So I love it. Okay? Old school to him. But they force feed the ball a lot because they need to add more weapons for the Raiders. This is not when they had Tim Brown, Jerry Rice, Jerry Porter, 02, like I just mentioned at the top. So they need more perimeter speed on the offense. They have some with Trey Tucker. Michael Mayer comes back fully next year because he had the mental health stuff, which, will you admit, we need to take care of our mental health. That matters, people, okay? But I am excited for Brock Bowers, what he can do with this offense if they get a quarterback shore up the offensive line, get the defense back, because it did take a step back this year from where it was last year at the end of the year where I was balling, and Pierce had these boys playing their ass off, their hair on fire, kind of like Flores when he was with Miami near the end. For that little sprint, I think 2020 maybe, COVID year, weird times, God help us. But I feel like I could see it. So Raiders, listen, you won, great, but it was a shitty time. You should have won early in the season. So we'll see what the draft happens. If you beat the Chargers, great. If not, glad the season's over. I'm looking forward to the draft. So the college football games, football playoff has been a hit and has been awesome. I know all these old heads are bitching. Oh my God, the 12-team playoff. Oh. Hey, I got words for you. Shut up. It's been great. Raiders have been balling, boosting, bunch of stone cold stunners dissing out you. Yeah, that's the bottom line because Sammy Mack said so, baby. Woo! That's how I'm feeling right now about the college football playoff because it has been balling. Now listen, I could argue Oregon got hosed. I got all that. Here's my point, okay? And Penn State got an easier route than half these teams. They played SMU and Boise State. Give me a break. I love Ashton Genty, but come on. And SMU, come on. You won last second against Clemson. Give me a break, okay? All right. Or no, you lost in the ACC Championship game. Oh, my bad. I'm tripping here. But tonight when I watched that game between Texas and Arizona State, the first game, the thriller that I saw. Now, again, I was at the gym. I was at work today, and then I kind of kept track of it on my watch, see what the score was. And I saw, like, Texas was up really big, and I'm like 24-8. I'm going, damn, this is a blowout. Okay, here we go. And today what I saw from Arizona State is a team that feisty, is gritty, is tough with Kenny Dillingham. I got to give him props, man. This guy's balling. He's doing a great job coaching. He's got these guys playing with their hair on fire, playing with their ass off. It's great to see, and I'm happy for him. And Arizona State, for my whole life, has always been kind of a bizarre football program. I don't know why they've always been kind of underachieving when they got all that talent out there in Arizona. That's a hotbed out there, okay? A lot of great high school football out there. So I've always been kind of confused. But I don't know how they do next year. It was a great story this year. Cam Skadden was a great running back. I don't know where he gets drafted. We'll see. But we'll see. I mean, it was a great story for Arizona State. You played your ass off. You can't be disappointed. You wish you would have won. But if I'm Arizona State, I hold my head up high, brother, because you got this thing in the bag. It feels good. Enjoy it, okay? Go in the offseason, keep grinding your ass off, and do something. Because this team has got some up. The rocket ship could be going for this Kenny Willingham Arizona State Sun Devils. So, tip of the cap to Arizona State. They balled their ass off. They're going to be fine. We'll see, because the Big 12 maybe might be weird. Who knows? But when I look at Texas on that perspective, Quinn Ewers is a fascinating study to me. Now, I mentioned I liked him before the year. He was my... God, I'm trying to think off the top of my head here. Okay. Right, okay, so I had... Carson Beck was my one, Quinn Ewers, Cam Ward, Shador, and whatever was left. And the more I watch Quinn Ewers, I go... And I heard a scout say this, he's Derek Carr, better arm strength. I kind of see it. I really do. Like, he, bounced around. He's got a whipped arm, but plays a little loose sometimes. There's kind of a Drew Lockey kind of feel. And I kind of see it. I don't disagree. But when I watch Quinn Ewers, that arm strength comes off the page, man. And I think he's matured a lot. He had that mullet back in the day. Woo! Kind of wild child. Texas boy, and he's matured. He's grown up a lot. And I think he's an interesting guy. Nobody had him in the first, second, third round, but he could get himself in there. And maybe the Raiders take a shot. I don't know. But my point is with Quinn Ewers, he's got talent. And Texas, listen, they're going to buy every player in that state. Come on. I remember years ago, I think it was Coward said this once. Like, the biggest disappointment in underachieving is the Houston, Texas Longhorns. Like, how the fuck do you struggle in that state? There's certain schools that you should not struggle in, okay? LSU, Georgia, Bama, Florida. You should not have any issues winning in those programs. You shouldn't. Florida, I said it before, I'll say it again, sold their soul the minute Urban Meyer became the head coach, because ever since then they've been shitty. Although I am pulling for DJ Lagway for Florida. I think he's going to be a good player, and Billy Napier can coach. But my point is, and Sark, listen, he's had his demons, and I applaud him. anybody that's gone through hard shit in their life and to get back up, especially when it's alcohol, and I'm not going to get into like what he does, drinking, all that stuff. I'm not in that space to do it. But I am so impressed with him learning his demons. You know, he went into a team meeting drunk when he was at USC. You know, it just was bad. And he's answered his critics. Now, can he win the big game? We shall see. But in terms of play design and everything like that, that's what I noticed today when I watched that game on the Gunnar Helm touchdown in double overtime. They shifted the tackle over, kind of pretending he was blocking, and then they slipped him right out the back door, down the seam, like on a little umph route, and Gunnar Helm touchdown. That's a guy, Gunnar Helm, watch out in the draft. He could be a top 50 pick because he's got that kind of talent. So good for Texas. You won. Awesome. I can't wait to see what they do against Ohio State in the semifinal. Let's go. I'm all in on that game. So much NFL talent. It's stupid. But let's go. Let's get this ship rolling, okay? And then the last game I wanted to touch on tonight was Ohio State-Oregon. Ohio State putting the stunner of Stone Cold, because that's what the bottom line is, and they did. They kicked their ass from the jump. Every time I looked up, it was like 14-0. Okay, Oregon might make a comeback. Then it was 24-0. That's shit. Then it was 34-0 at halftime. Then it was 34-8. Then 34-15. I'm like, okay, maybe. And then it just shut it out. And listen, I'm not going to take anything away from Oregon. They had a great season. But I just feel like Oregon, man, they should not. And what I can't figure out when I'm watching that game tonight, and I got to credit Ohio State. Ryan Day has gotten a lot of shit. And deservedly so. He lost to Michigan at home, which was ugly. One of the worst losses ever. And they've used that for the last 2 weeks as piss fuel. And they've used it. And they took it out on Tennessee last weekend. I'm not going to take anything away from Tennessee. They're a good team. Josh Heupel's a really good, smart coach on offense. He'll get Nico back to playing elite football. He's a freshman. He's a kid. I'm not whatever. But when I watch this Ohio State team, they are just so stacked everywhere. And right now, it's open, man. Like, I think Ohio State could win it all. And I hate saying that from a Big Ten guy. But proof's in the pudding, bro. Like, they've earned it. They beat Tennessee's ass. It's fair game now, bro. So I'm excited for that matchup against Texas. In Oregon, like, hang your head up high, dude. Like, Dan Lanning is a great coach. I liked him a lot. He's got this toughness and demeanor. Southern guy. I didn't think he was going to work on the West Coast. You know, the cultures and all that. But it's working, man. Listen, he's got Phil Knight money. He can do whatever he wants. But the one thing I had issues with Oregon was Jeremiah Smith kicking your ass. And you can't even, you're not putting 4 guys on him. And this is, like, I thought for the week he'd have a great game plan to, like, stop him. And he didn't. So I never understood that. Because if I go back to, excuse me, where was he at? He was at Georgia, where Kirby Smart's the coach. And where does Kirby Smart come from? Nick Saban. And where does Nick Saban learn from? Bill Belichick. What's the one thing all those guys do? Belichick, Saban. What do? You do whatever you do best. We're going to make you play with your hand tied behind your back. And that's what they did tonight. That's what they didn't do tonight. Excuse me, I'm getting off track here. But I was really disappointed in Ohio State tonight. Like, dude, or Oregon, excuse me. Dude, Jeremiah Smith's roasting your ass. Do something. Roll the coverage. Do something. Put 4 guys on him. I don't give a fuck. Like, do the Calvin Johnson thing, like, down at the goal line, like on the gunner. Like, put 4 fucking guys on that motherfucker. I don't get it. But Oregon had a great year. And they got a lot of NFL bodies. They're going to be a good team going forward. And I do think at some point they will break through and win that national championship that I think Dan Lanning deserves. So that's all I want to touch on here tonight. There's going to be no Thursday Night Football tomorrow. And I just want to say a prayer before I get off of here tonight. I just want to pray and hope everybody's doing okay down in New Orleans today. What an awful, awful. And I am so disgusted when I heard that news today of all the people shot down on Bourbon Street. That is just so sad, tragic. I saw a stat today, and I don't want to get into it, but it was like 400 people have been shot in the first line. It's just awful. And I got a cousin that's a cop. My cousin's, Megan's husband's a cop. So he sees a bunch of crazy shit. And it just made me, my heart made me. So I just want to give a shout out to them and pray really hard. And I'm pulling for that game tomorrow night. That's going to be a talking point for me. Go Friday, because there's usually a Thursday night game tomorrow, but there's not. Stay tuned throughout the week. I got my NFL picks tomorrow. I went 14-2. I fucking crushed it again. Stole cold stunner. I hit that curls for the girls workout tonight, baby. I was feeling good. I was stole cold stunning these people out here. But that's all I want to touch on here tonight. Stay tuned throughout the week. I got a lot more content coming up this weekend. College football, NFL. Stay tuned throughout the week. Hit the like, subscribe, share button. And stay tuned. I got a lot of content. Have a good night.